Hello everybody, and welcome to another vlog that I have been attempting to vlog for the past month now. Hello everybody, my name's Erica and welcome to my channel Ginger Books, or welcome back if you're a continuing watcher or subscriber. And welcome to another reading vlog. At this point I am calling it a reading vlog, even though we are hopefully wrapping up the Twilight Saga collection, or whatever it's being called, because I have a feeling this is one of the reasons why I'm in a reading slump right now. So I have been trying to put out a part 2 of Midnight Sun, but every time I sit down to vlog, I just don't have enough content, and I'm just really not feeling it. And I really think part of it is because of personal life things that are going on, or I rephrase, things going on in my personal life, but also in being busy. But also I think I'm just done with Twilight. I really am. I'm ready to move on to other books and read. So this whole rereading thing kind of scaled off into reading some books for the first time, because I had not read Midnight Sun, and I have also not read Life or Death, which is the 10th anniversary edition of Twilight that was released, that is pretty much gender flipping a lot of the characters except for a few. And I have read, I think, at least a chapter, if not close to a chapter. I don't really want to say my views on it, but I'm kind of leaning towards not really liking it. And maybe it's just because it feels like it is definitely a regurgitation of Twilight, just gender bent. And I don't know if I like that. And maybe I'm just bored, because I'm literally rereading Twilight for, well, reread Twilight for the rereading, read Midnight Sun, even though that was interesting because it was Edward's point of view, and now reading it as gender flipped. I can't put down, maybe I'm just tired of it, or there's something about it that I just don't like, and it's just turning me off from even wanting to read it. So that's where I'm at with the book. This reading vlog is going to be very interesting because I feel like I'm having a crisis. I don't know. But hello. Actually, today is a Tuesday because yesterday was the 4th. So I'm hoping I can get this vlog out next week, because this vlog is supposed to go out next week. Well, or the day that you see it being posted, which is Monday the 11th. So the only thing that seems like I've been able to do on time is my Sims videos, even though I'm pretty sure I forgot to post the Sims video that was supposed to go up last Friday. Or I should say, Friday the 1st. Guys, it's been a hell of a 2 months. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but we're going to keep on trucking because that's really all we can do at this point. And I really don't want to get into it because it is a lot of personal stuff that involves me, but also involves my boyfriend. So I really don't want to get into it. And keep that private. So. I'm sorry if I just feel very scatterbrained. It's been a day. But it is currently almost 9 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. We actually had some storms roll in with some high winds, but it didn't get as bad as it did in South Dakota. They had derecho winds of pretty much 90 plus mile an hour. And we're thinking it kind of lost steam as it got here because it kind of got cool before it hit. So we're thinking it definitely lost some steam, because we only had, I think, gusts of 60 mile an hour and just some downpours, and that's pretty much it. But it is predicted storms for the next 2 days. So 50% chance and 49% chance the next 2 days for storms. So it's actually going to be nice indoor rainy weather. So that's a good positive thing, I guess. Currently, I just wanted to just kind of get an intro in. I also wanted to put in that some of what I read of Midnight Sun, I did keep some of that footage, at least reading towards the end. I am technically at work, so this would have been... Was I wearing my Lions Club t-shirt? Yes, I was, because I was going to work the snack shack that night. So this was from Last week, I think I was finishing up Midnight Sun. If not, I was very close to finishing it and had some very interesting tidbits for the ending portion of the book, which is pretty much during kind of like the fight scene and the hospital scene. So I'm going to insert that here now so you guys can watch it. And I'll pop back in. Okay, so I am officially finally done with Midnight Sun. Took me a while. What, 2 months? So it took me 2 months, but I finally finished it, and I kind of wanted to give about 5 minutes to see what my final thoughts after that. I will have to say, and I said this at the beginning, I do admit that my perspective as Edward as a character has changed. Now finally understanding his point of view and what he's taken away and remembers. And again, it kind of goes towards, vampires are very receptive, well, I guess I can say creatures, because they're not really human. But they are. But they're really not. Or immortal beings who are very receptive and remember a lot. It's like a deep chasm filing system because, well, what I like to say is they're using almost most of their brain capacity. Because there is a scientific thing where we only, like, as humans, we only use 10% of, like, 9 or 10% of our brain capacity. And that's the reason why, studying the brain is so important to understand just functionality. Why do we only use 10% of our brain? And also to understand just, how the brain can hide trauma, how it categorizes itself, as well as just, I guess, just overall how it functions. And why sometimes we end up having Alzheimer's and how to, battle it and maybe possibly find a cure later on. So studies like that are very important. And with vampires, they're practically able to use most of their brain capacity, so which is understandable, or the myth, and of course, but them being also superhuman and, well, not even being super inhuman and being immortal, just kind of going off the lore and how Stephanie Meyers kind of did the lore, kind of stayed true to the lore, but also made it her own, which is also nice to see and keeping it up. But with Edward, and I guess this was a long-winded thing, but leading back to, Edward remembering probably the more pure and more unbiased, even though he had his opinions and thoughts, unbiased of what happened, just because, again, he can pick up on things a lot more than humans do, as well as remember and retain a lot more of it. So, and that shows in, like, a lot of the flashbacks he does in this book. And except for the human memories, it's like almost like the brain is just like you're on a whole nother level plane, you need to forget your human years kind of type thing. But they also kind of become detached from their humanity because they're not really human and they can't live like humans. So therefore they're kind of detached from it. So, but it's also nice to see a little bit of Edward's humanity kind of awakening also when he meets Bella. And you see that a lot more through this book. But also there is the downside of also being in Edward's head. You get a lot more of what he thinks his logical thinking is more of the very overthinking aspect of his character and the anxiety that comes from that. And what he thinks is logical, sometimes his family members have to look at him and go, no, you're overthinking way too much. And it even shows, like, when he's talking to Alice and all of these threads and knots and everything for all of these possible futures and outcomes from decisions between him and Bella, like, and how Edward couldn't understand that, this future is becoming solid, that she's going to become one of us, but this is your decisions of how you're trying to stop it. Doesn't mean Bella agrees. Reasons why there's different cords and knots to untwine in those cords, because you also have another person who is also very strong-willed and stubborn, making decisions for herself. But, and then just the duality of you get more of the duality of his character as well, because, you have what he thinks is selfishness and him actually trying to find a way to live with Bella and finally be truly happy and let go. He calls that selfishness, or selfish of him, to actually want to be and be happy with Bella. On the other side, the duality of it, of he is trying to be selfless and protect her and give her the human life that she deserves, with him not in it, endangering her. So it's such a huge revolving circle, and you get more insight to that I really loved. There is still some things of the character that really just Edward is very dramatic, and it becomes more of a point towards the end of the book of how dramatic he is. And we all know this, but it just felt like it just came back stronghold, and it almost felt like that, character growth finally starting to happen, and then something happens and it just kind of gets pulled back by like a cane 3 steps. And I get where Edward is coming from, because that's where the overthinkingness comes in, but it's just so dramatic. So dramatic. That he can't just let himself be happy and figure this out and work with Bella. And to be honest, you could probably would have done that in 2 books. The realization of how thick these books are. But I get it. This would not have set up for the rest of the series. And also their big kind of climactic reunion at the end of New Moon. Like, I get it. I get it. But I guess it was a little shocking, even though I'm not as shocked as I think about it now and look back at it, of the signs of that he actually was starting to think about leaving her and finding the strength to leave her after what happened to her. Because now, after, as I kind of came in to talk about that, it doesn't now surprise me as much, because I had time to kind of process it and go, oh my god, so some of those interactions made sense why they didn't feel as genuine as they could have. So, in Twilight, at the end, through Bella's point of view. And it also is kind of, Bella being able to read him, I think there was also a little bit of doubt, but Bella didn't want to hear it, that thinking that Edward would just leave her, and was so stuck on, and maybe that's the reason why she was so stuck on wanting to become one of them, because she feels like something's going to happen if she doesn't, and meaning that Edward might walk out of her life at one point. Whether, regardless if she dies of old age, or he might leave, in the next few months, or the next week or something. She's feeling that, why does this feel like goodbye every time he, says goodbye, like he's never going to see me again, kind of thing. So, very interesting. I will have to give this a 4 out of 5. Only just because, again, and I think it's just because I can't get around, this is just my own bias, of opposites of how Bella's character is portrayed. Now, in this book, I feel like Bella's character was portrayed really well, the way I feel like she should have went. But, especially in Twilight, we're getting told, and I'm going to keep saying this, that she is wise beyond her years. She's like a mother figure. She's like a mother, or I should say like a mother hen to everybody. She needs to make sure everybody else is comfortable and at calm, even if she's not happy and at calm, but it brings her some joy. Wise beyond her years, very cunning, very smart. Maybe cunning's not the word, but she's definitely somebody who can read between the lines and read somebody very well. So there was a couple of slip-ups, and I pointed that out in this book even too, that it just really, I guess she's mad, and sometimes I get the same way. If I get mad, tears show up. It doesn't matter, but it just feels like she was throwing kind of a tantrum because she really didn't want to go to prom, but also not realizing she's going to prom. This girl, who was supposed to be very intelligent, didn't pick up on the sudden signs that she's going to prom. Especially if it was plastered all over school. For the last few weeks, she was back at school. And then Alice, out of nowhere, wanting to doll her up, and then seeing Edward in a tux. You couldn't put 2 and 2 together at that point? I don't know. I don't know. So that almost felt weird when she said, I thought you were going to change me. Maybe she's just been, I guess I can see if she's been so engrossed of wanting to be changed so that she can live with Edward forever. But I don't know. That just felt really awkward and off to me. So we got to watch that and kind of my thoughts, and I did say that I would give the book a 4 out of 5 because what makes a book really special to me is if the characters are really relatable and how attached I grow to the character development, and how that interacts with the plot. And the world building. Those are kind of like my 3 criterias I kind of look for. Number 1, obviously, being character development. Characters and character development, plot, and world building. So those are the 3 things that I look for, and if I am just blown above and beyond with everything and love all 3 of them, usually that means it is a 5 out of 5. However, this was a 4 out of 5 because the ending just felt so lackluster. Like, I already knew it was going to end to that, even though there was kind of a surprise twist at the end of not realizing where Edward's headspace was kind of at the end of Twilight, even though it's the wrong decision. But I would actually be very interested to see the whole Twilight saga done in Edward's point of view. It was nice. It was a nice refresher, and nice to see it in somebody's different point of view and what they remembered. And I got like a lot more insight to Bella's character through Edward than we did in the original Twilight. So I kind of felt salty about that, but I loved it. So, yeah. But I don't think we're going to get those. I think pretty much Twilight is now done on a shelf. I don't think there's any more coming out unless somebody wants to put in the comments and say, no, you're wrong. This is why. And I would be glad to know if I am wrong, because I would really love, again, Edward's point of view throughout the whole Twilight saga. But currently, I am actually really not doing much. I did get back from a Lions Club meeting like 2 hours ago. And I've just been sitting here on TikTok trying to watch YouTube videos, but I really don't know what I'm in the mood for. I'm kind of tired, but kind of not really. I keep yawning, only because when it gets really hot like it did today, I just feel drained. It's almost like the storm was sucking energy out of me, but I do need to find to do something. I was thinking about watching Sims and maybe watching more of Stranger Things because I'm into that show now. Even though I've already seen like part 1 and part 2 of the finale for season 4. But I didn't think I would like it, but I really do. I really love it. I love the whole, like, it mixes in like Dungeons and Dragons with 1980s. Like, love the 80s aesthetic through the whole thing. And just the it's like it mixes in H.P. Lovecraft, like Call of Cthulhu, kind of that universe with Dungeons and Dragons, and like with, you know, the supernatural element of the upside down world. And then the 80s aesthetic. Love it. Sometimes I wonder if I was born in the wrong decade. Anywhooser, I could read, but this is where I'm saying that I think I just need to, like, maybe just not even read Life and Death and just put it on my shelf and just start reading something else. Because I want to read, but I really don't want to read Life and Death. Maybe if I, like, make myself read it, maybe I'll get intrigued by it, but I don't. This is where I'm at. Like, I'm stuck in a rock and a hard place right now. I don't know. But I don't know what that was, but I'm gonna go check that out and I'll pop back in. Hello everybody, it is Wednesday afternoon. So sorry to cut off abruptly last night, and for the weird rambling that I was doing. I have just been in a weird kind of headspace lately, and I think that's just the reason why I get so excited to vlog and then I just don't vlog. I've been a lot of personal life things that have just been a lot to deal with. So thank you for sticking with me. First and foremost, thank you for sticking with me with this whole chaotic why the book content has been kind of thrown out the window. And I really didn't mean to. It's just I don't know, it's just, I guess I don't look at the vlogs as kind of a fun hobby much anymore. I don't know why. I've just gotten into that weird mental headspace about them, and I really, to be honest, I think I have hit the head on the nail of why they've been kind of just feeling more like a chore and a job to me than actually having fun and reading, because I think I am officially done with Twilight. It's not piqued my interest anymore. I'm seeing people reading, Crescent City, and I haven't even read the first book out of that series yet, and seeing other people read other things and enjoying it, of books that have piqued my interest. And so I think I am ready to move on from Twilight. I would really love to read Life and Death, but at this point, for my own sanity, I think at this point, with all the personal life stuff I've been dealing with, I think it's safe that I just move forward from it. So, of course, what book series are we going to move to next? Since this is supposed to be like rereads, kind of themed vlog. The one that kind of comes to mind right now that I wouldn't mind exploring again, but it is a very long series. I say very long. It's between, I think. Hold on. Let me check real quick because I want to give an accurate. Okay, so this series called The House of Night. It is a 12-book series. And then it has 4 spin-off kind of like sequel series to it. So altogether it has 16 books, and then you also have the companion novels, which I think there's like 4 or 5 of those. So the only thing is that the reason why I'm hesitant to do this series is because I don't know exactly how I want to vlog them. Because it is 12 books, and do I want to reread all of them? So far, I think the plan is going to go is I'm going to go and find the first book, and we're going to read the first book. And give myself some time to think of how I want to reread this series. And right now, I think the goal is just, as I said, to read the first book, but I think I will not vlog every book, just because it'll take forever. So I was thinking of the first book, maybe a couple of books in between, and then the last couple of books in the series. So altogether, we will be doing like 4 or 5 of, well, what did I just say? About 5 books of the series. Now, I also have not read, I read maybe 1 or 2 books of the sequel series. Maybe that might be something for a later date, but right now, House of Night has gotten a little bit of a following on TikTok because a lot of people are upset that House of Night has been signed and ready to go for a TV series, but no major network has picked it up yet. However, I think somebody has picked it up now. Let's see if so. It's still in development, according to IMDb. Yeah, it's pretty much still waiting for a network to pick it up. I'm not 100% major updates on the House of Night television series. Okay, so it looks like there has been some major news, and it was back during the pandemic. So they do have a television producer by the name of David Carmichael. I'm sorry if I literally butchered that name. They're doing a lot of creativity with it in the writing, so they're still in the process of writing it and figuring out stuff. But once they get casting director, it'll be pretty underway. But I still think somebody said that they're still waiting for a network to pick it up. Was one of their biggest problems, and I think it still kind of is. So, which tends to happen and can put a lot of damper on things. But, so I'm thinking about rereading The House of Night, just because I think I tried to do a reread of it in the past, but I think it was for our high school, what I read in school kind of thing, or grade, I can't remember, that I got inspiration from books on Lala from. I didn't stick to it just because, again, when my life gets very stressful and everything, reading is like the last thing I want to do on my list when I'm being very, because when I get stressed out and overthinking, I don't want to sit down. I feel like I need to keep doing something to keep myself busy. So that's what's been kind of going on. And I just want to be kind of transparent with you guys that, I'm doing better, but I'm I don't want to say I'm okay. I'm doing better though. So let's just leave it at that. But yeah, so I figured I would pop in and apologize for yesterday. But the reason why I kind of stopped is because I don't know if my phone audio picked it up because I film everything on my phone. But there was like a really loud just exhaust and motor running, and I was like, what the heck? And I looked out and noticed it was one of my cousin's friends. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But then I saw them all congregating around the buffalo pen, and I'm like, what's going on? We had another baby born last night, so we now have 2 baby buffalo. Don't know the name of this one yet, just because we haven't been able to get a good look at if it's a cow or a bull. So, but definitely having in the habit of having animals during storms, but with the barometric pressure, and she was literally ready to pop at any time the last like month. The barometric pressure probably sent her into labor. So, but when I went past this morning, the baby was standing. They're still kind of over in that corner kind of type area. It does take a little bit for them to kind of get used to their feet, and the baby's still probably, still trying to figure out how to move. So, but yeah, so I'll try to get some footage of that when I go home to check up on it. But today it's not as hot as it was yesterday, but it is definitely very sticky and humid today. So I will not be outside. But today I figured, since I didn't really have anything going on or anything planned for this afternoon, when I go home, I am planning, and I felt like I needed this morning, I am going to do a self-care day. Because with how my stress levels have been, I'm a little worried. And I think I just need a de-stressor. So whether that be reading, watching movies, playing Sims, I think I just need to get a couple of my favorite snacks that are kind of low budget, because we're really, really tight on a budget right now. And put on my favorite pajamas and just go do things that are just going to help me unwind and relax. And if that means I also take a nap, I take a nap. I don't care. I just need to do some self-love and self-care, because I feel like I have been stressing myself out too much the past couple of weeks. And part of it is because I screwed up on my weeks on my birth control, and it does help me regulate some things. And one of them is my tendency to be very, I don't want to say emotional, because this is not a very high hormonal like birth control pill, but I definitely notice I get a tendency to get very stressed out more and overthink more when I'm off of it. So I think it kind of helps regulate that. So I screwed up on the weeks, and so I was off of it last week, and I have to be off of it this week to get back on my weeks. So once I can start taking it again, I feel like the stress might ease a little bit. And I think I'm just stressing myself out over a lot of things that I need to they'll get done. It'll be fine. But yeah, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk about stress. But I figured I'd pop in, but right now I'll insert some footage of the little baby, and I will see you guys when I'm at home. everybody. It is Thursday, pretty much late afternoon, early evening. It's like almost 4:30, but hello. So as you saw yesterday, we did get some reading in, and we are reading Marked by PC and Kristen Cast, and I'm roughly between 70 and 75 pages in already. I might be a little bit more, not 100% sure, but I'm not gonna lie, I already have a gripe, and I kind of had this gripe at the beginning, but I decided to overlook it because I did kind of liked it and kind of didn't. And it is the writing style. It is very choppy, for one. And two, I think what PC and Kristen Cast are trying to do is make more of Zoe's voice be heard through her thoughts. So it's almost like we are Zoe, and I think we're supposed to be in the first person. Yeah, I think we're supposed to be in the first person, but it's like very, like if you were plopped into Zoe's head. I think that's the reason why the writing style the way it is. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I ever read this series, if I remember right, it did bug me because it was very, but I also liked it. Like, I enjoyed it. I don't know why, but I did. But now, being able to know of, reading Cassandra Clare and Sarah J. Maas and Carrie Maniscalco and all those things about, witty characters that you can be in their head, but they have a little bit more of a sophisticated look at things than Zoe, who is very, to be honest, she doesn't come off as a bitch, but she's definitely an uptight, not spoiled, but I would definitely say, like I said, uptight, very whiny mindset about a lot of things. And one of the things I kind of don't like right now is that it's very apparent that Zoe just wants to be normal, even though her life is changing. Like, it's very apparent she wants it to be normal. So it almost kind of reminds me of Twilight, where Stephanie Meyer was very like, Bella is this way. It's kind of the same thing over again. But I did enjoy this series, so maybe I'll find out what I really liked about the series, because now I think the things that I kind of enjoyed kind of annoy me, which shows my growth as a reader. So definitely interesting. I forgot how this book started out, and it's also very cut and dry and very choppy and not as fluid when explaining things. Like, it's kind of like, I did this, I did that, they did this, so I did that kind of type thing. And it's like, they do get better throughout the series, I do remember that, but yeah. So, and if I remember right, when I was looking up how many books was in this series, I did forget that they do go into different point of views in the different books. So with the first 4 books, I believe, are all in Zoe's point of view, and then it starts diverting off, and I think that's where it kind of gets better a little bit, even though it's a little sloppy at first with how each point of view and voice is set up, but it does get better, if that makes sense. I'm trying to remember things because right now I'm running on like very little caffeine today, and my brain hurts because of it. But yeah, so I did place a hold for the audiobook so that when I'm in the car or anything like that, I can listen to it. I've been kind of liking that, where I can listen to it, because of course I can speed it up and listen to it and kind of get through books a little bit faster, but also if I want to opt out and just say, hey, I just want to read the actual physical book, I'm keeping up with the physical book. So yeah. But so anyway, so that's an update on reading. But today I kind of took a half day because Sid ended up getting hurt, which is a pony mix breed that is in with Ty. He is my aunt's horse, or I should say my cousin's horse. It was bought for him, but all in all, my aunt also rides him. And I say he's he's hurt because pretty much this morning when I went to go feed him, Ty was the first one and by himself when he came up to the trough, and I was like, that's kind of weird, because usually Sid is, even if he passes Sid's usually pretty close behind. And I noticed he was walking very slowly up through the pasture into the paddock, and I think he must have pulled a muscle because he was kind of limping. My aunt's daughter, who was a vet tech, came out and inspected him and said that she really thinks it's just a pulled muscle. Otherwise, he wouldn't be putting weight on it at all. If it was like broken, fractured, or even if it was a torn muscle, he wouldn't be able to put any weight on it. So that's good and also bad. That means we definitely have to watch him to make sure he doesn't pull it anymore. But a good thing that we don't have to get a vet out there to do an MRI. Of course, if it doesn't get any better, my aunt said that she will have to take him to the vet and figure out what it could be. But they outruled the feet. There wasn't anything stuck, so they're really thinking the way the shoulder's kind of looking, he must have pulled something in his shoulder. So yeah. So that happened this morning. I took a half day just because I felt like, since I've been kind of really stressed out lately, I just was like, you know what? Let me take the time off that I can before I get too extremely busy. And I've been slowly working through my to-do list so I don't feel as stressed, and taking a night just to myself to do the things I wanted to do and just relax kind of helped a little bit with my mindset. So, and I'm kind of doing that today because currently I am on my way to my friend's place up north, because I asked her if she wanted me to come up because we have chances of storms again this evening into tonight. And she's like, if you want to, go right ahead. I don't have much planned. However, she says, I kind of want to split one paddock off so that we can have groups of horses in where this shelter is. So pretty much dividing a lot that has a shelter down the middle. So one side we have the horses, and the other side can have the other groups of horses that have the other side. The reason why we're doing that is because the two horses of mine up there, I would like to keep together. They tolerate each other, but it's also helping their buddy sourness because they don't particularly care if they're with each other, kind of thing. But however, my one horse, if I put it in with another horse that's in this other group of horses, she tends to get really buddy sour. So yeah, the struggles of sometimes owning horses, but I would not have it any other way. So, and plus I'm taking up, can't see it very well, but I'm taking up a saddle that the one saddle that I really wanted to fit did not fit, so I went and traded it for a different one. No money had to be put down for it. It was equal trade value. So, and I went and grabbed, because I went to check on Sid before I left, and everything, and that's when they updated me about what they think it is, and we're just gonna have to keep an eye on him to grab the cinch that possibly might fit my one horse as well as with the saddle. So might try it on her, but probably won't ride, just because the cinch for Ty, because this is Ty's cinch that came off his original saddle when I got him, I'm pretty sure it doesn't fit him right now because he has kind of ballooned out. So I might have to try a different cinch on him for now until he loses a little weight, and then I'll put this one back on him. So, or I might get another one because I kind of don't really, this is pink and I don't like pink. Only if I'm representing like breast cancer, that's the only time I'll wear pink, but I'm not a big fan of pink. So, but anyways, so I figured I would do an update. I know I've only been doing like once a day updates. I'm so sorry guys. I figured I would have a little bit more for you guys, but I figured as long as I get reading content in, I'm going to push this through. Just because this is a reading vlog, it's not like a daily vlog or like a day in the life type vlog. So yeah. Sir, please get on your side of the road. I would like not to meet you head on. Anyways. So yeah. Other than that, I don't really have much going on other than just to go hang out with my friend for a little bit, which she's kind of been wanting a friend to come, I think, hang out with, and not coming out right and saying it, because she ended up losing her dog over the 4th of July weekend that has been through a lot with her, and she's taking it pretty hard, which it's not a huge shocker to me. I know she was going to take it pretty hard if the dog passed away, just because of how much that dog meant to her and how much that dog has helped her through a lot, because she didn't go through a very good marriage. Reasons why she now is divorced. So, yeah, enough said. But, yeah, so I figured I would check in and let you guys know how reading went yesterday, and I do plan on wanting to read more tonight, just because it actually has been helping quiet my mind down and to sleep. So, yeah. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Hello everybody, it is, what time is it? 1:30 on a Friday. So I had every intention of reading when I got home. Didn't happen. I ended up actually falling asleep on the couch. So, that life. But today I didn't wake up as stressed. So, maybe it's the universe telling me to chill. I don't know. But obviously, I'm at work. I just got things I needed to get done today, and I am pretty much free to just kind of, if a tour shows up, it does. I think somebody did show up for a tour, but I've been kind of running into a couple of times some issues where people, I don't know if, the museums they encounter have free admission and allow people just to walk around, but if you visit our sources of, visitor info, we are a guided tour, technically, because we can't just let you walk around in our buildings unsupervised, because we don't know you. We would trust that you would be very honorable of not touching our items or trying to take our items, but we just can't run that security risk. And thinking the admission's free. And it's like, no, we run off of admission. That's one of our big incomes during the season. So, the tour is to see all of our buildings. Can take about 2 hours, if not longer. Trying to be honest with people and planning, this is not unless you just want to see a couple of the buildings, and we will charge half price admission for that, but our buildings are not all handicap accessible. You do have to pay an admission fee, and it is guided. I will have to walk around with you. Even if you don't want the whole spiel, that is completely fine, but I still have to walk around with you to unlock buildings and open them up, as well as close and lock the buildings. So, I'm just a little baffled because we advertise that a lot. So, I'm not 100% sure where the whole mix-up is, and I don't want to be that person and say, well, maybe people are only seeing that we're open and just are coming to ask questions, which this lady did, which is fine. But, yeah. Maybe they're back. I don't know, maybe I might have a tour, because I just saw a truck pull up. But yeah, sometimes, we've had that issue a few times that I've been working, and I don't know. I would just hope that people, maybe they just have been finding us just as they drive past the road and just wanting to stop in and check it out. That's completely fine. But I just, yeah. Because I don't know how much more advertising we can do that we are a guided tour that is roughly, at most, 2 hours long, even if we don't give the full spiel to see all of the buildings, but any hooser. But I figured I would pop on today after work. We're having people over for RPG. We're actually having our first kind of small group session again in this RPG campaign that we haven't had in a long time. So that'll be fun. And that's pretty much it this weekend. I don't really have much going on. I do have to be back here tomorrow because we have an event, but I only work the event, which is only like 2 hours. So I need to get here by 9. And then I have to clean. And then I'm done. Not a whole lot going on. So I figure out what this truck is doing. I can either I guess I'm going to maybe do a tour and then read. I've got the Breakfast Club pulled up to listen to in the background because I've been kind of doing our local radio station that does live broadcasts on the internet, as well as a mix of Hulu just to have something else in the background to kill time. So, and as I said, it is around 1:30, a little after 1:30, so I only have 2.5 hours left of the workday, so yeah. So let's get to reading a little bit of Marked, hopefully, because I don't know what this truck is doing. But we will hopefully figure this out. Okay, I've been reading for some time, and on page 112, and this is Zoe's pretty much first day. This is only her second hour class, and it's her drama class, and Professor Nolan has asked a talented upperclassman, which we all know who it is, Zoe gets a first look at him for the first time. The door opened and oh my dear sweet lord, I do believe my heart totally stopped beating. I'm positive my mouth flopped open like a moron. He was the most gorgeous young lad I had ever seen. He was tall and had dark hair that did that adorably a perfect Superman curl thing. His eyes were an amazing sapphire and blue. Oh hell, it was the guy from the hall. How she described the first time ever seeing Eric Knight. Kind of funny. Just kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. And I forgot how so cheesy this first book was. But in a way, in that paragraph, you can kind of see why I said I kind of have a love-hate relationship for the way the monologue is going. But I think the understanding is, again, that we're supposed to be in Zoe's mind. And I think that's the effect we're supposed to get. So, yeah. But I'm going to keep reading. Hello, everybody. I am in the car. So, I am technically on the way home, so I figured I would update you guys. I got to chapter 17. I forgot how quick these books read, to be honest. I completely have forgotten. So, we're literally powering through this. So, I should say at times the book is very fluid, that you can read it pretty fast, or maybe it's just I've gotten used to it already because I've kind of gotten back into the swing of how to read these books. But, so far we are now past Zoe's first ritual, as well as first Dark Daughters and Sons ritual. And this is where she realizes that her mark is definitely making her stand out and be different. Because understanding the fledgling as well as a fully changed vampires have a taste for blood. However, they're not codependent on it all the time. They can lace it with things. However, fledglings don't have that yet because, again, they're in between possibly going through the change. So they don't have that yet. However, she has a filled-in mark. Just no tattoos to go with it. So, definitely different. And totally forgot that it was pretty much like her first, or second full night, I should say. Second full night at the school where she already has this lust for blood. And we also meet characters we're going to see later on that play a role in the story. So, and now reading it the second time, or I guess this is the third time because I did try to reread it. I forgot how foreshadowing the first book was, but you don't pick up on it because it's not as subtle unless you've already read the book. That the authors were already giving away some things that are gonna happen, like setting up things already, and it was kind of like a very like bold neon sign, like hey, like stuff like this, and I'm like, but of course then I'm sitting here and I'm like, how noticeable was it if I didn't even pick up on it the first time? Oh boy, you know, the joys. So, but I am enjoying this read through, I really am. So, definitely interesting. But yeah, so I am like to 160 something. So I've read like 100 pages, like close to 100 pages today. That's actually really shocking because I didn't realize how well these things read. So yeah, but I am getting close to home and probably walking into the beginnings of an RPG session. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I probably will not check in until probably tomorrow, because I don't know how late this RPG session is going to go. So, yeah. So, if I don't check in today, I will see you guys in the morning. Okay, hello everybody. It is technically, if you want to consider this Saturday night at like 1:26 in the morning or Sunday morning, since it is like 1:26 a.m. or close to 1:30. Sorry if I sound croaky, I'm a little tired. I just finished Marked. I forgot how easy this book was able to read, and it's not even 300 pages. Okay, I lied. It's like barely above 300 pages. It's like not even 310. So I just finished that, and I forgot how much I actually liked the book. I'm not gonna lie. However, the choppiness of it, I will have to give it a 4 out of 5. Just because of how poorly it was written. But other than that, I forgot about the dynamic of the group. I loved it, and I do like how the characters do develop throughout the series, so we're not getting, especially with the twins, so we're not just getting these like robot, really generic side characters. So yeah, but I finished the book. Wow. And now I kind of want to start Betrayed, but to be honest, I need to go to sleep because I have to travel to my friend's place up north tomorrow. Or later, I guess. So, anyways. I just figured I would pop in, let you guys know. So I canceled my hold on Marked, and I did place a hold, so when it comes in Betrayed as an audiobook, but we'll see, because it says I have a 4-week wait, even though 2 copies and 1 person's waiting ahead of me, so we'll see. But, yeah. God, I loved that. Now I want to start Betrayed. Shit, I should have started with this first instead of Twilight. Anyways, I'm gonna bid you guys good night, and I will see you in the morning. Hello everybody, it is Sunday at like 4 o'clock. Sorry for my disheveled, sweaty, red face, but did a lot of work today, so I'm on my way back from my friend's place up near, up in northern Iowa, which is not too far from where I live, and pretty much today we started putting up some more permanent fencing so that we can get some of her really tall grass mowed off. I'll let the horses eat it off. So yeah, I wanted to pop on here because I am like feeling like I'm going to fall asleep behind the wheel. So I figured talking to you guys would help me not feel like I'm going to fall asleep behind the wheel. And also to kind of talk a little bit more about Marked. So bear with me here as I kind of think of things to talk about it, what I kind of liked and disliked. But so just to kind of revamp of kind of what I've been saying throughout the vlog, which is not a whole lot, and it feels like I might be repeating myself, so I do apologize. But I definitely did enjoy the book. I gave it a 4 out of 5. However, the reason why I didn't give it a full 5 out of 5 stars is because of the writing. The writing is definitely different, and I think the effect we're supposed to get is that we are definitely like Zoe. Like, we're supposed to be Zoe, the main character, and inside her head a lot. And this is how she would talk, and the mannerisms and everything, or how she would think to herself. So I do like that aspect. However, I feel like sometimes the writing was a little rushed, because you have a lot of, well, I did this, so I did that, or I did that, or, you know, they did that, so I did this, kind of like type thing. Like, it's a little choppy. Sorry, guys, you're kind of vibrating. So it definitely kind of felt like it was very choppy at some points, but obviously it was an easy read because the book was only like I think close to 310 pages. So I still kind of got through it quickly. Part of it was just because I still kind of, and the one thing that I think PC and Kristen Cast, I think, did really well, even for the choppiness, is that it was definitely felt like it was fast-paced. Like, there was always something happening, even if it felt like there was some downtime. Like, they didn't spend so much on, you know, cooking or something like that some books do. Like, they've actually paid attention to detail when it needed to, and then they kept going through parts that weren't really important. However, if you didn't notice, if you didn't now understanding and have read the book before a couple of times, if you don't pay attention to sometimes even the fast forwarding or speed parts that you think are not important, you might miss some things. So, but yeah, so I think there was some things that I think they were trying to be try to be effective on. Is that how I want to word it? Or trying to push was not very effective, but I think in the long run, I mean, this is a first book in a series. I mean, this is not PC Cass's first book that she's written, but I think co-writing with her daughter, this might have been the first series that they did. So this being the first book of the series, it was still kind of fast-paced, which I don't mind that. I really don't, because I do get bored if you're always in detail, and so that's why some books I just stay away from. One of them, the Little House on the Prairie books, because it just goes into a lot of detail. Laura Ingalls Wilder was a really good writer, I think, but when it came to like children's books, I think sometimes she wasn't as effective, and I said that. So yeah, but anyways, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5. And some of the commentary where it just felt like using a lot of descriptors, even though the twins they're supposed to be more intelligent than they come off in the first book. Or actually the first like 4. But like a lot of overusage of some words also kind of played into it as well. Like hag. We get it. That's their favorite thing to call Aphrodite and her followers, hags. But at this point, can you find something else? At least with Damien, we get, or Damon, or I think it's Damien, we get a little bit more of like a colorful vocabulary because he likes vocabulary, so he likes to be able to use words that he learns and effectively, so it's really nice. What else did I like or dislike? Now, this is going to be kind of controversial, but to be honest, I did not like Zoe's character at first in the books. She was very whiny. She reminds me of Clary through a good half of the OG Mortal Instruments series, until she finally stops complaining, stops, excuse my French, bitching all the time, and feeling sorry for herself, and actually just decides to pull herself together and just take action. Zoe's kind of that way too, and you can kind of tell in a little bit. I was kind of I don't know, her character kind of came standoffish to me a little bit too, and especially a little bit more now, just because I don't like somebody who keeps saying that they're, not preppy, but they almost have that, and this is really bad probably analogy, preppy mentality, because she can be very judgmental, and I sometimes don't like that in main characters, but I guess that gives her a little bit of character, because I guess she does come from an upper middle class to upper class home, even if, where am I going with this? But she just kind of comes off very snobbish in her head, and kind of shallow. Even though she does make up for it, because she does try to treat people with respect and nicely, and she does know how to kind of act the part when she needs to against like Aphrodite in this book, but yeah, I said it. She can be kind of shallow and snobbish, and she kind of is that way through, I think, the good, at least 2 or 3 books of the series. So, yeah. Another thing that I did like about the book too, and this will be my last thing, is that a lot of the Easter eggs and the foreshadowing in the first book, that I don't know if it was intended to. I mean, if it's by accident, whoa, but even if it was intended to, still whoa, I didn't realize I was missing a lot of things where PC and Kristen Cass were kind of setting up how the series was going to go, and maybe different, even though there's a couple of angles that they could have went down, but they didn't. But it's foreshadowing, and I forgot how soon the other fledglings race shows up. I thought it was still going to be another book yet, but I forgot how soon they show up with Elliot and Elizabeth, no last name. So interesting, and I'm enjoying it now, and I think that's what still makes me like the series. So, and hopefully I continue this attitude. I know when we get towards the middle of the series, I may not vlog as much, just because the middle of the series is very stale. And I say that just because I think it's where I feel like PC and Kristen Cass kind of wanted the story to lull a little bit to set up for the rest of the series. So, which is fine, because I feel like that's what City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare kind of does. It's more of setting up and gearing up for the last 2 books of the series. So, but yeah. But I can't wait, because my favorite part is the middle and the ending of the series, just because we finally meet our, OG cast, what is going to be the cast of characters moving forward. Yeah. So, anywhoozer, I'm almost to, actually my turn now. I'm about a few miles out, and I'm going to head home, probably take a shower, and then my uncle said that we might go for a motorcycle ride as long as the wind dies down, and go get some ice cream. So, as long as plans stay on trajectory. So yeah, but I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off with you guys here. And I probably might start reading Portrayed, even though I might not vlog it right away. As I said, but if I do end up reading it before I get back to vlogging, because Portrayed is the next book in the series, but I have been very wanting to read these books now. I forgot how much I actually fell in love with them. how much I liked them and how much I begged my mother every time I finished one to buy me the next one. So it's definitely re-sparked a little bit more of my love for reading, and I think this is just kind of a way to say that Twilight, I think I was done with Twilight. Like, I was just had no ambition to read Twilight, so therefore I wasn't ambitious to read. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm trying to sign off here. So thank you so much for watching. If you did like what you saw and want to stick around for more, please hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, so you are notified. I post fun bookish content with me looking not as red-faced under Ginger's books on Mondays. And if you want to check out my Sims content, I post that every Fridays under Ginger Snaps Gaming. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great start to their week, and I will see you in the next video for either Betrayed or Chosen.